Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
All right, tough crowd this morning. So as we're gathering, let's go around and introduce our visiting Rotarian guests.
This is our speaker, Max Hawk, and you'll hear more about him later.
Hey, Amira.
I'm Amira, and I just 2 weeks ago got nominated as the treasurer for Interact.
We also have with us Niavita Bueno Watts. Did I say that right? And she is the director of ITEP on Intercept. Sorry, darn it. Oh, I do that. Intercept, which is a support program for Native and other students of color in the natural resources and sciences.
Thank you. Do you have a guest? Miss April?
Oh, me?
Ashliegh.
Sorry. Good morning. It's early. Yes, I have my guest, my coworker Letty. She's an accountant in our office. This is her first Rotary meeting.
And I saw Cairo earlier. She's getting breakfast.
Right over there.
Hey, Cairo. We got some busy Rotarians. Only one of them made it, which is quite impressive. Actually, you want to talk about your trip?
Do you want me to go with Arrow?
Yes, please.
We're working. Seriously impressive. I know. So actions has even changed. Okay. I'm still recovering from jet lag, as you can tell. We had a great time. It was great to see Marty and Terry and Dustin, his girlfriend Jennifer, were my roommates for a whole week, and we did a lot of breakout sessions, learning about how to make Rotary more sustainable as a volunteer organization. Found out about some really great river projects to help our area as well as in different countries. And we took a fun picture of the cute teddy bear, and we got to learn to make paper cranes. We put peace symbols on them. I have yet to post any photos online, but they'll come probably this weekend. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The speakers, they were amazing. It was 4 full days.
Where'd you go?
Oh, you want me to tell you where I went? It was in Melbourne, Australia. So it was a long flight, took over 24 hours to get back. And there's a collective of us from District 5130 in 2 years want to go to Calgary's Rotary International Conference, which is a lot closer. And I'm planning on driving. Some people might be riding motorcycles if they can make it. And we encourage, other Rotarians to join us as a group. So it's just a really good experience and had a lot of fun.
Cool. Thank you. We also had some birthdays over in May and in the beginning of June. Pat, what did you do for your birthday? Oh, and you're sitting at the same table. Great. What did you do?
I worked.
Okay.
I was beautifully blessed with a lot of people taking me to dinner, bringing me flowers, a lot of beautiful things. So I appreciate that.
Bob.
As I told you earlier, mine was on a Monday, so it wasn't spectacular. Last year's was much better. All got together on a Sunday, so I'm still glowing in that. So anyway, just another year.
The Coriels. You guys had a big anniversary and a birthday, right?
Yeah, my birthday was May 21st, and for my birthday we drove down to Davis and visited with our daughter. And our anniversary was June 6th, and that was 14 years.
Yay!
So it's pretty sweet. And we went to Moonstone Grove. Had a quiet night.
Oh, this is blocking the picture, which is awesome.
That picture is from Fortunately Ashley got a limo last week. I'm like, no, that picture's from like 15 years ago.
That was like one of the first dates we went on.
Oh, nice.
I was thinking, wow, we really raised the bar for anniversary.
Apparently.
Hi, oh,
I say thank you.
oh, yeah. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say thank you to the club for helping support the Fairy Festival. That picture's silly. I didn't do that, but well, I did last time Jeanette did the picture. But it was a really fun event. We estimated about 6,500 people or so there. A lot of families and little people everywhere. I was driving past the bike path and saw a dad with a little kid with the wings on riding their bike on the next day, and there was just a lot of people all over. Businesses really did well. We didn't have a lot of food there because we were having school groups do it, and some of the school groups demoted their like protein to just funnel cakes or something. So there wasn't a ton of food. So the restaurants did great. Big Blue Cafe, all the places were really happy. And it was a beautiful day. We had about 58 art vendors and about 15 interactive lounge spaces across the area, including one that Romy brought her rocking chair to for moms and babies to hang out in, and just lots and lots of interactive art spaces all over, and about over 140 performers all told across the event. But there was just a lot of art and a lot of saying, yes, you can do this crazy idea. Sure, it sounds wonderful. And it was really great to have a lot of collaboration from a lot of organizations, and thank you for being a part of it.
Were you the one on the microphone?
No, that's Lady Flava. She was our MC, a hostess through the day.
Because I could hear her from my house. And I've never heard anybody spend so much time being so nice and praising of she was just praising the whole time. It was so cool.
She's pretty sweet and lovely. She's our guest MC the last 2 times, and yeah, we're very happy to have her. And yeah, Bryce has the biggest sound system in the universe, so we might have heard it in Eureka. but thank you so much for being part of it.
And really, congratulations to you, Shoshanna. That was a hit. You were everywhere.
Vanessa was one of the judges in the costume contest.
That was awesome. I got to wear a fancy dress. Cairo, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Come on up.
Hello everyone, I'm Cairo Diehl, and I am going on Rotary exchange to Sweden. Introduction to me as a person. I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and moved here when I was 5 years old. I live with my parents, my little brother, and my 3 dogs, including my corgi, who is my favorite thing in the world. I'm currently 15 and I'm a sophomore at Arcata High School. I learned about Rotary Youth Exchange because my uncle went on exchange to France when he was in high school, and ever since I remember I've been saying, oh, when I'm in high school I'm going to go on exchange, and then finally I'm in high school, so I'm going on exchange. This is pictures of my family. That's my parents, my brother, and I. And these are my dogs. That's my corgi, Juno, and those are my puppies, Lola and Luca. Okay, progress on my language. So I've done 22 lessons of my language program called Pimsleur, and that's going okay. And I actually done 15 hours of my online tutor. I haven't but yeah, I just finished my online language tutor, and that went pretty well. I like my teacher. And I've also been doing Duolingo a lot, which has been really helpful for some reason. But yeah. But I'm going to need a lot more practice at Swedish to actually be able to hold a full conversation with someone. But these are a few of the little things that I've learned. Mitt namn is my name is, so mitt namn Cairo Diehl. And jag förstår lite svenska. I understand a little Swedish. And then jag är American. I'm American. I like this. What I'm excited and nervous about. So I'm excited about learning a new language and being like, I don't know, that's just weird to be able to communicate in another language besides English. Maybe living in a place where it snows. My host family said it's hopefully going to snow at their house, but they're not sure. and I really want to live somewhere where it snows because I think that would be really fun. You just have to like plow somewhere or something. Hopefully I don't have to do that. Meeting my host sister and family. I can't wait to meet them. I'm going to live with them for a few months and then live with another person for 3 months, but I just can't wait to meet them. It's going to be really fun. And then living in a new country, a whole new experience of what life is like for people who live in a different country. So yeah. And I'm also nervous about learning a new language because it's going to be crazy. I'm going to be there and they're all going to be talking and I have no idea what they're going to say. But maybe I'll figure it out. I'm also nervous about school because I was talking to my host family. I think I'm going to be in the second year when everyone else my age is going to be in the first year of the school. And also, I will possibly have to take Physics 2 in Swedish. I'm going to a school that specializes in science. Yay! I'm also nervous about living with a random family because I have no idea how they live their life, and it'll probably be very different from what I'm used to. So that's going to be a learning experience, and also new food. I know there's some things there that I've never tried before that I'll have to experience for the first time, good or bad.
Is there a particular example of something?
Pickled herring. That's a thing that I'm not sure I'm excited about trying, but I'll probably try it. Okay. This is what I have and hope to learn. So I've already learned about my school from when I'm going to be there. It's called Eberstenska Gymnasium. Gymnasium is what like high schools are called. And it's a science school, so everyone there specializes in like science. That's what they like to do. And it's really close to my first host family's house, so I can walk there every day. My first host family, my host mom is Lada, my host dad is Druger, and then I have a host sister who's the same age as me, her name's Sophia. But we're going to be going to different schools, but they're really close. And then my host brother, his name's Carl, and he's going on exchange to Idaho next year. And my city in Sweden is called Norrköping, and it's the 8th biggest city in the country. So, yeah, that's not a lot to say because the country's only a little bit bigger than California. But, yeah. And then my house, there's a picture on the next slide. Right? But it's like my apartment. It's pretty cool. And what I hope to learn is the differences and similarities of both the American culture and the Swedish culture. And different Swedish traditions, like they do some things called like Midsummer or May Day and stuff like that, that I am not used to celebrating. So that's going to be really fun to learn about. And I just want to know what it's like to live in the snow. I really love snow, but I think it might be a little overrated. When I live there, I don't know if I'm going to love it as much. I'm just cold all the time. And then I also want to learn the difference between our school systems because I know they'll definitely not be the same.
Did you choose to go to a science-focused high school?
No, they just told me I was going to a science one because that's where my host brother went. And this is, that little point is the town, Norrköping, on the map of Sweden. And that is my school, and that is my host. Okay, this is my experience so far. So this is reveal weekend when I learned I was going to Sweden and met for the first time with all of the outbound and inbound exchange students. It was a really fun weekend. It was in the beginning of March. And then here is district conference. Then we went down to somewhere and met up again with them. And it was a really fun weekend. We got to talk a lot about Rotary and stuff like that. This is my fundraising so far. I have another fundraiser plan too. But yeah, I got a scholarship for $500 and then I'm getting some extra of the scholarship because I have to go to DC to get my visa. And so I have to fly all the way there and then fly back, which is going to be like $2,000. So I'm trying to ramp up the fundraising a little bit. And yeah, that's my fundraising so far. My minimum goal is $6,600, just to cover all the expenses of what everything's going to be. And then maybe $8,000 and if I want to go on some of the like extra trips that I can take on there.
So we have the picture floating around, or is it at the, is that got many? The line drawing is still out for, oh, okay. Just keep an eye out for it. We'll just keep having that go until we hit a goal. And then you also have.
And for fundraising, I'm holding a car wash on June 17th from 10 to 2 at Umpqua Bank.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm pre-selling tickets if anyone wants to buy them. It's by donation. And
Will there be hot dogs?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
And if anyone would like to volunteer, I could use a few volunteers to help do the car wash. Maybe like 3 from 10 to 12 and 3 from 12 to 2. If anyone would be interested.
We can maybe set up a sign-up genius and we'll get that going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yes.
Any questions, guys?
Yeah, when do you leave? Are you scheduled or?
Well, my the date that I'm supposed to leave is July 28th, but we can't book a ticket until after I get my visa.
And the reason you have to go clear back to Washington for that?
That's what Sweden told me to do.
Oh, wow. As if it was a small country the size of California.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you want to leave some with me, Cairo?
What?
Tickets with me?
Super excited.
All right, the first ticket ends with 5076. 5076. 50. Did I say that right? Yeah, 5076. Tom, excellent. You're a winner. All right, Cairo, and it was, the top was
$70.
$70.
Nice.
So Cairo's fundraising was $170. Woohoo! And then I gotta put all the balls back in. Hang on one sec here. And the next ticket is 5099.
Oh, look. That's the person right before me.
5099.
Right.
5099.
Oh, there.
I'm ready.
There you go.
Wow. So many balls.
They're all in there now. And you get $5.
Oh, what'd I tell you? Huh? What'd I
So,
tell you?
what happened?
Never mind.
$5.
Some days are just good that way, Bob.
Yeah.
I wish Bob would stop talking to himself.
I hear
There used to be too many Johnsons in the room. There's just too many
I
Barbara.
know, we have to get some more. We're
All right,
really
guys.
slow. Where there's Dick and me.
Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Maxwell Hawk. He's currently serving as the Interim Network Coordinator for Equity Arcata. And yes, it's lowercase on Equity and Arcata on purpose, so don't question the grammar. He also participates on the Home Away from Home Committee, which is where I know him from. Max is a recent graduate of Cal Poly Humboldt and has been working with Equity Arcata for the past year and a half.
He's put this presentation together in collaboration with the previous network coordinator, Joseph Pang, and the network manager, Lisa Von Mappen. So please welcome Max to our meeting.
Hi everyone, thank you for inviting Equity Arcata to be here and for allowing me to share a little bit about the network. So Equity Arcata is going through a bit of a transition process, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what it is at its core, the things it's done, and the direction we're going in. It is fundamentally a partnership between key stakeholders in the community, such as the City of Arcata, Cal Poly Humboldt, the Humboldt Area Foundation, and other local educators, businesses, and community leaders under the shared goal of making Arcata a welcoming, safe, and racially equitable community and environment for Black, Indigenous persons of color, or BIPOC. We envision an Arcata that is better because of our growing racial diversity and where new residents are successful and feel that they belong in our community. So these are some of our current partners, like I said, Cal Poly Humboldt, the City of Arcata, the Humboldt Area Foundation, along with the Arcata Chamber of Commerce and the Northern Humboldt Union High School District. This isn't an exhaustive list, but it is some of our long-standing partners. So in the past, Equity Arcata has consisted primarily of multiple volunteer-led working groups. Some of these main groups have been Home Away from Home, Ongoing Learning, Welcoming Businesses, Just Arts, Police and Student Safety, and Communications. There have been a couple others over the years too, like a housing committee and a team to create a bias reporting tool. Also guiding the work of these groups have been teams like the Backbone Support Team, which I've served on as an intern and now in the Interim Network Coordinator capacity, along with Dr. Lisa Von Mappen. We kind of handle the administrative duties and the day-to-day operations of the network. We also have the advisory team, which consists of representatives from the key stakeholders, like the city manager and the head of ODEI, the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion over at the campus. They look at the bigger picture and the overall direction of the network. So talking about some of the things that we have done, that should say key accomplishments since 2017, but formatting. So we have done the bias reporting tool, which is an app that was developed for people to be able to report their experiences of bias at mostly businesses in the community. It would allow people to make an informed decision about where they go, but also engage businesses in restorative justice that maybe have had a few incidents and try to kind of keep that communication open rather than shutting it down. There's also the Humboldt Tenant Landlord Collaboration YouTube series. This was created by the mentioned housing committee, and in it, tenants and landlords would give some best practices and advice to hopefully help reduce housing inequities in the community. And this is currently housed with the Cal Poly Humboldt Housing Services. We also have the Know Your Rights campaign, which was developed by Police and Student Safety, so a committee of police officers along with student and other input. This was to raise literacy around legal rights, particularly in interactions with law enforcement. Then we have some of the projects from the Just Arts Working Group. They did a call and response series in which participants were given a prompt and they could respond with an art response in any form, and then the organizers would put all this together into a video that could be shared. And there was the Art on the Fence project. That was when I was just an intern at the Arcata Playhouse, but they would create art on canvases that were given to them for free, and they could put this up at the Arcata Ballpark, which gave a chance for expression, a chance to sell art, and also helped with beautification of the community during the time that it was up. Ongoing Learning, another one of the working groups, has had a couple of book clubs, one of which was completely grant funded, which allowed them to provide copies of the book to all participants, and they donated extra copies to the Arcata Library. And during their monthly meetings, they would create learning modules. Each one would focus on a different topic in diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and they can all be found for free on the Equity Arcata website currently. Finally, we have Home Away from Home. They provided students, over 1,500 students, with free meals and household supplies, and we're going to go a little bit more into them on the next slide. Homework Home has a special place in my heart, given that I've worked pretty closely with them. They've had 4 distributions in the 2022-2023 academic year, 2 per semester, and there was an average attendance of 140 students. These events involved a caterer who would provide a hot meal along with a bag of prepackaged food and household supplies. An additional element to these distributions is that we would aim to hire BIPOC caterers, so it would help to support and uplift their business while also exposing students to a food option they might not have discovered in the community. Prior to the pandemic, there would be community potlucks in which non-student community members would bring food to share, and student community members would just bring themselves and their appetite, and everyone could share food and get to know each other. And so looking forward, the group has been discussing possibly returning to this. After each distribution, we send out a survey to get feedback about the event, and so for the last 2 distributions, I've included a question to kind of gauge students' interest on returning to this type of event, and the responses have been very positive so far. And then in the coming months, they will also be able to incorporate feedback from the Student Advisory Group for Equity, or SAGE, which I will describe a little bit more in the coming slides.
Just a thank you before we move on from Home Away from Home. Thank you to this club because our Rotary was able to sponsor one of those events. And our club came up with 1,000, and we had 2 other clubs, the Noon and Eureka Southwest, came up with 500 each. So the students, when they came to receive that free meal and a bag of stuff, they were notified. It was Rotary this last time who made that possible for you.
Thank you guys. There's a little picture in there later. So for our other community partnerships, we work with the Arcata Chamber of Commerce. At the State of the City, City Manager Karen Deemer gave a little bit of a talk about Equity Arcata and where we're at. And the Chamber of Commerce also donated a portion of the proceeds from that event at the Minor to Equity Arcata. And we're talking about co-hosting events in the future, so more to come on that. We've also been participating in the Humboldt Equity Consortium, which is an effort out of the city of Eureka to increase collaboration among different organizations who are doing DEI work, with the aim of kind of streamlining that, not duplicating efforts, and increasing the opportunity to collaborate on planning, resources, and just overall idea generation. There's also Festejando Nuestra Comunidad to look forward to, which is a health, education, and culture festival that will be happening in September, both on and off campus, and is aimed to support the Latinx community. It comes from a popular event in 2016 called Festejando Nuestra Salud, Celebrating Our Health, which was a free health fair. Finally, we have the Arcata Chinatown Project. You've maybe heard of the Eureka Chinatown Project, which was aimed at raising awareness to the Chinatown that existed in Eureka and the events surrounding it. The Arcata Chinatown Project is very similar, but looking at events and landmarks in our community. So there's some Rotary members there. When it comes to funding, Equity Arcata received significant contributions from the city and the university, approximately $50,000 a year each, to fund our staff and operating expenses. This goes towards a city and university-based co-coordinator and associate interns and student fellows. We also rely on donations to fund most of our actual initiatives. We get those from a variety of sources, including personal donations and grants from funders. And this kind of enables us to do things like our free distributions and provide art supplies and things like that. Over the past couple of months, Equity Arcata's advisory team has been engaging with a consulting firm called Stepping Stone Consulting to envision and plan for the future of Arcata coming out of a pandemic-level world. And from this has resulted a renewed focus on BIPOC-centeredness and collective impact. We're really trying to emphasize our work with our partner organizations and hope that this refreshed structure will provide additional resources and allow for us to build on our relationships with BIPOC community members and affinity organizations. So to go a little bit more into the new priorities, We want to incentivize the groups and organizations that are already doing the work. We know that in our community there's already a great deal of existing drive, motivation, ideas, and we don't want to just duplicate that. We want to uplift the initiatives that are already happening around us and kind of focus on that grassroots BIPOC-led work. In that, we want to also listen to the needs of community members, including student voices, which is partially addressed by the Student Advisory Group for Equity, which is a group that will be coming out of Cal Poly Humboldt. It will be about 5 students who are in compensated roles, and they will be able to advise us on areas of priority for programming, ground the work as informants from a student perspective, assist in vetting proposals, and just overall inform our approaches as a network going forward. We really want to make Equity Arcata a more sustainable organization. Being primarily volunteer-led, I'm sure some of you know, can be a lot in addition to everything else going on in life, and volunteers have made Equity Arcata what it is, but we also don't want to encourage burnout, and so we hope to have more compensated positions to kind of provide that fundamental support. Lastly, we want to emphasize evidence-based impact and move towards data-informed methods. So by this, we mostly mean to say we don't want to just list the events we've gone to or things we've done. We want to be able to measure how that has changed our community and why we're really doing it. So reflected in the structure is the goals of being able to focus on 3 primary areas, which are securing funding for equity initiatives, connecting partner organizations to work on shared equity initiatives and systems change, and convening and communicating. This looks like changing the backbone support team to just core staff, which will still be the university-based co-coordinator, the City of Arcata-based co-coordinator, and university and city-based interns and student equity fellows. There will also be the equity leaders team, which includes student advisory group for equity, and the working leaders group, which looks like the old design team, which essentially was chairs of groups coming together to talk about the shared data measurement and how to have mutually reinforcing activities. So this last slide was more of just a brainstorm, if anything, just things that could potentially be in the future, collaborative fundraising or fundraising opportunities to support BIPOC-led signature initiatives, or just participating in each other's events, whether it be co-hosting events or combining volunteer efforts to ongoing projects. Also keeping in contact for fall collaboration, because that's when the university will be doing a lot of Welcome Week activities for students. So I was open to talking about any ideas, answering any questions, and if not, thank you.
Seems like a lot of committee work that you are doing. How many people are involved?
I would say, so during the summer and the transition period, a lot of the committees have been paused as we're restructuring, but before that, each committee had about, we averaged 8 people. Home away from home, for example, is a little bit bigger at times, and some of them were a little smaller. So probably around 40 to 50 if you did that math. Definitely not a math major, but something.
And this typically students?
No, actually it's a lot of kind of what the normal volunteer demographic looks like, a little bit older, or people who are involved in other things, like we've got some Rotary Club members in there. One of our goals actually has been to get more students involved, which is why we've created SAGE, and we want more of that student perspective. I think there also was a class on Equity Arcata that would bring students in, which is how I discovered it, but traditionally not a lot of students would come to all of the meetings.
What metrics are you going to use for, maybe this hasn't been designed and fully fleshed out yet, but what metrics are you planning to use to determine how effective your efforts are?
So far, I think the main effort we've made towards having a measure that we can consistently look back on is with Home Away from Home and our feedback surveys, in which we have we ask questions about community connectedness, food insecurity, like if students have experienced it, and demographics. But even that we want to change, because for anonymity we don't ask for personal information, so we want to find a way to connect how it's changed through the course of the program. So it's definitely still in development, but we're taking inspiration from what we have been able to do and trying to make it work.
Great.
Where does one find these metrics? All of this work that you're doing, where do you?
I think currently we just have it within, we have the most recent within the Home Away from Home Committee, but we're about to publish a biennial report for 2020 through 2022 that shows a lot of the Home Away from Home information specifically.
And then we're like at the beginning, you talked about a bias reporting for businesses. Where do you find that information?
So that got transferred to the McKinleyville Family Resource Center, and we've actually been trying to get it up and going. I think it was developed and kind of got shelved due to lack of resources, and we really want to make sure it gets out there, but it's on a bit of a pause.
Okay. Any other questions? All right, thank you very much for your time. So there were, the last week, there were a couple of committee meetings. There was DEI and I think Youth Exchange had a meeting last night? Or
Informally.
informal? Was there anything that you want to share with the group?
I believe we have enough of a vote to say Cairo, the Youth Exchange Committee, will help co-fund extra expense to DC since the consul in Los Angeles isn't cooperating. So there's another 600 coming from our clubs committee to help with that. I know the district is also granted another 1,500, somewhere right in there. Yeah. So hopefully that gets that little surprise out of the way. Normally the students can go to Los Angeles or even San Francisco in some past years, and for whatever reason they don't have the right person at the right consul this year, and they're working on correcting that for next year. But Cairo was put in that position and outside her control.
Okay, good. Good news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
You're raring to go.
I'm going to come up because the thing that diversity, equity, and inclusion, we always have all kinds of wonderful ideas. And by the way, if you're interested in joining that committee, please let me know. But we talked about all kinds of great stuff, and last night was a wonderful meeting. But one of the things that we discussed was accommodating and being respectful to folks with disabilities that we can see or not see. And we talked about the fact that that really when we make announcements, we should be right here. When we are talking to the committee, even answering, to club questions, answering questions, come up here. Be where our folks on Zoom can see you. And of course, Zoom accommodates people with mobility issues, with health issues, with COVID issues, with people who are on the road, people, there's all sorts of anxiety issues. So accommodating our Zoom participants, high Zoom participants, and also also accommodating folks that might be in different parts of the room with different abilities, hearing abilities, and others. So we said, as a DEI committee, we ought to give a little reminder. Come on up to the front of the room. Make sure that what we're saying can be heard and appreciated by all. And it's just another way that we respect all the different ways that our members need communication.
Yeah, and if you don't want to see me in the front of the room, speak up, because then I can sit in the back. I can't hear it. I really can't hear from back there, so I'm stuck up front. Oh yeah, I'm stuck up front. She told me to stand.
I am astounded.
I know, that is funny, thank you for the reminder. And I was at that meeting. Yeah.
Okay, so, thank you. We have some signups going around. We have let's see, June 23rd is in my head for some reason. There's a Pride event in Ferndale.
25th.
There is 25th, I'm sorry. And then this Juneteenth.
On the 17th.
We're looking for volunteers still.
Yeah, AJ, thank you. I'm going to do my thing. Yes, I just asked everybody to do that. A huge thank you to AJ for making all of the sign-up geniuses, for all of the things that we ask people to do to get involved in our community. So yay, AJ. AJ created a sign-up genius for people to sign up to help. Black Humboldt put on a celebration. NAACP and other organizations are part of it as well. But it is the Juneteenth celebration. It's at Halverson Park in Eureka, and it is on the 17th of June. So please do. AJ sent it out a couple times, but get yourself signed up. And while I'm up here, we also need some help today with filling
Backpacks, yes.
backpacks. Yes, we do. Is the food
Yes,
up
they're
there?
here, they're
The
here.
food's here, yes, so we're gonna need some help. Hang out here so that we can fill those bags. And for our guests who are here during the school year, almost every single Friday, we fill, I think it's around 55 bags of food for kids that the schools determine they come back from the weekend hungry. And instead of allowing that to continue on the way out the door on Friday, they grab a bag of food that our club works in partnership with Food for People to purchase and then fill those bags and get those kids fed. So help us.
Do we have everybody signed up to deliver?
Yeah, we got delivery, Maggie and I, but we need help filling the bags.
Could you talk about the, 3 different Juneteenth events?
3 different
Three
Juneteenth
different
events.
dates for sign up, because there's a setup before and then the day of the event.
Well, there's
Yeah.
Arcata and then
The other
there's.
one we
The
did.
Arcata is already done, and thank you
Oh.
to Maggie and John and AJ and Jessica
Oh.
and I who went and got, that was for Black Humboldt's birthday party. And it was 1 block over, and we got them all set up was that Sunday? Saturday. Yeah, and helped really support their event. So help us support Juneteenth event on June 17th. And I think there is some.
After your car wash.
After the car.
There's 2 days of being able to help. One is Friday set up before, and then Saturday is for at the event itself. This is what we just provide the
I'm just gonna
manpower.
jump up.
Jump
to say
up,
that.
Maggie, go.
I was gonna jump up to say that, but she said it.
What Jessica said?
All right, so next week, we are meeting at the sanctuary. Address to follow shortly, I'll tell you on Thursday. It's on J Street. We've been there, we were there last year, 2 years ago. They have a new director, and there will be bagels, no breakfast. And, yeah, anything else? No? Okay, thanks, have a great weekend.
Thank you.